What's up, guys? This is Mark from My Primal Being. Welcome to another episode of Mindset Monday. Here I am at the park. Get a little bit of greenery behind me. I've always kind of been a nature guy, so I figured I might as well take you guys out into a little bit of the nature. Anyways, what I wanted to get into today was the idea of being comfortable with being uncomfortable. Now, just recently I realized that this was something I'd always sort of kept in the back of my mind, because coming out of the military, you're sort of forced into that mindset because you never know what given point things will change, and you have to maintain this dynamicism about your day-to-day because there's really no sort of routine. In a way, you kind of get comfortable to this lack of routine, and even that becomes a routine. I know that doesn't make a hell of a lot of sense, but give me a second and it just might. So I have this idea that as long as you're alive and yearning for things, and even, dare I say, complaining and bitching about your day-to-day, it's a good indication that you probably want to do something else with your life, that you want to progress and you want to grow. So rather than sitting there uncomfortable about it, bitching and moaning, I think it's a better idea to kind of act on those things and go out and grow and evolve and make something of that. The reason why is a lot of people have a tendency to just kind of get used to even that as a pattern. They spend years of their lives and then eventually find themselves at a dive bar in their 50s, 60s, and 70s with the rest of the old folk complaining about the things that they missed out on in their lives, when you had so much opportunity to take advantage of that time. I think I've mentioned this before in a past video. I said that it usually takes about 10,000 hours or 5 years of really committed work to become something new. And if you think about it in that respect, if you telescope out even 20 years of your life, you are potentially going to have maybe 4 different paths that you can go down, that you can become if you just set your mind to it. You can become 4 different people in those 20 years that go by. And there's a lot of time between now and then, especially if you're in your 20s, 30s, maybe even 40s. But as long as you've got a breath in your body, you still can make progress. So kind of going back, I'm gonna reel this back in. As long as you're complaining, get used to the idea of being comfortable with being uncomfortable, because life is just like that. Life is not about settling down, and I think the moment that you sort of get in the idea and you get it in your head that you're gonna settle down and just stop progressing, I feel you're on the road to death and you're slowly driving your way into the grave. So take the time to kind of keep going and making something of your day-to-day instead of just kind of sitting on your ass and not doing much of anything at all. And yes, he's right, it is a blessing that you have that you are able to push and strive, or as some people have come to romanticize it nowadays, is the grind. Now, I don't really like the idea of calling it a grind too much, because if you call it that, you kind of get in this habit of thinking that, oh, well, my life sucks, it's miserable, I'm just gonna stay in this grind, as opposed to making the point of pushing yourself harder, moving up to a different level, and sort of getting into a different grind altogether. But you kind of get the idea of what I'm saying. So get used to that, keep pushing forward, constantly strive to evolve. Realize that at any time that you find yourself complaining, bitching, moaning about your life, that's probably a good sign that it's time to do something new. Don't do anything crazy. This isn't leeway for you to go ahead and have your midlife crisis. It's just a way for you to kind of look at your life and say, I should probably make a shift here. All right, once again, this is Mark from My Primal Being. As always, have fun, be safe, and peace out.